guys, it's Mishel again with Deception Bytes, and I just have something quick to update you on. I found this today, and I'm literally shaking my head. I really cannot believe, I can't believe that we're this stupid. Scientists given green light to create transmissible Ebola and weaponized germs. Gee, what could go wrong? I can't imagine. This is asinine. I'm flabbergasted. I don't know what to even say. 3 years ago, several mishaps occurred with vials of viruses that could have been potential bioweapons in the wrong hands. A moratorium on deadly virus creation was installed, but the ban was just reversed on Tuesday, allowing scientists to begin manipulating benign pathogens into deadly epidemic-worthy human disease. Yeah, because that's what we want to do. Take things that are benign and manipulate them into deadly epidemics. Right. Not only do the scientists want permission to create with abandon, they'd like to keep the results secret. Oh, I bet they do. Yeah. Keep them unpublished so that the work doesn't get into, the wrong hands. Like maybe the public that would have you hung and cause an act of bioterrorism. Oh, right. It's the bioterrorists that you have to worry about, not the people that are actually creating them. What possible purpose would there be to create these things? It's just begging to get out of the lab. I can see those little viruses, knocking at their little glass, wanting out. And somehow they'll get out. Human feet, human hands. Yeah. Now that the government has lifted the ban, scientists essentially have carte blanche to breed laboratory horrors. New York Times reports federal officials on Tuesday ended a moratorium imposed 3 years ago on funding research that alters germs to make them more lethal. Such work can now proceed, said Dr. Francis S. Collins, the head of the National Institutes of Health, but only if a scientific panel decides that the benefits justify the risks. Can you think of a benefit of this? One? Like just one. Can you give me one benefit? Some scientists are eager to pursue these studies because they may show, for example, how a bird flu could mutate to more easily infect humans or could yield clues to making a better vaccine. Yes, I'm sure that's it. They're concerned about making a vaccine. Critics say these researchers risk creating a monster germ that could escape the lab and seed a pandemic. Now a government panel will require that researchers show that their studies in this area are scientifically sound and that they will be done in a high-security lab. The pathogen to be modified must pose a serious health threat, and the work must produce knowledge, such as a vaccine, that would benefit humans. Finally, there must be no safer way to do the researcher. And can't you just see the CIA walking in there and thinking, possibly we could use this for warfare. Perhaps we could maybe drop this on a country that we're at war with. I couldn't see that happening, could you? No. These projects, known as gain-of-function research, are intended to make pathogens more deadly or more transmissible, because that's what we all want, right? Supposedly for the purpose of study. Consider this, however. The government has been studying pathogen manipulation for bioweapons, even testing some germs on Americans, at least as far back as 60 years ago. Yeah. But I'm sure they wouldn't do that now, would they? No. Some examples of new viruses could be air-transmissible Ebola, the flu virus, Middle East respiratory syndrome, MERS, and severe acute respiratory syndrome, SARS, or any pathogen at all that can be manipulated to form a deadly human virus. So any old deadly virus will do. I mean, you know. Turns out the moratorium on lethal virus creation was largely bypassed. Although the previous moratorium halted 21 projects, 10 of them were still allowed to continue. Scientists want results to be known only on a need-to-know basis. And what do you bet that you and I don't need to know? If someone finds a way to make the Ebola virus more dangerous, I don't believe that should be available to anybody off the street who could use it for nefarious purposes, said the director of the Center for Infectious Disease Research and Policy at the University of Minnesota. I'm not really all that concerned about people off the street using it. I think just about it's the government I'm concerned about using it. Anyway, government and academic actions like the above serve to create fear and powerlessness among the masses. It also gets them used to the idea and will soften any outrage should mishaps inevitably occur. Modern television and movies, Stephen King's The Stand is being remade, serves as predictive programming, the purpose of which is to get people acclimated to massive change before it happens. Additionally, another stated reason for this yearning to create lethal viruses is to be able to create vaccines. Coincidentally, scientists have already created air-transmissible vaccines for viruses. Interesting coincidence, no? Not only is it impossible to refute a vaccine that is disseminated in the air, but an outbreak would create an ostensible and urgent warrant for them. Just one last note. The very last person to die from smallpox died in 1978 due to a laboratory version of the virus escaping through a vent. Just thought that you all might like to know that. Thanks so much for listening, and I'll see you in the next video.